Hi, I'm Musker-Sherwood, and if you are feeling angry or anxious or overwhelmed, or if you're grieving or you're in despair about the state of the world, then this invitation is for you. I used to be of the opinion that planet care and self-care were things that would compete with each other, and I used to think that because I on my own couldn't solve the climate crisis, then the way that I feel about the climate crisis and the way that it was impacting me was immovable as well, and that therefore I was resigned to this kind of state of sorrow that I was in about climate change. But over time, I've come to realize that actually leaning into the climate crisis does not have to mean the end of a life filled with deep purpose and deep enjoyment, and that actually we can fully face our sorrow at what's happening in the world, and we can fully lean into joy as much as we can. And not only are these things not mutually exclusive, but they're actually interconnected with each other. So when we show up to what is most difficult about the climate crisis, and we hold that within community, and we resource ourselves, and we have a little bit of guidance along the way, it's amazing the inner transformation that can happen within ourselves, and it can forever change the way that we're turning up to ourselves and each other and the planet. So that's really what the Rest of Activism is all about. It's where we get restored. It's about the filling up of our cups so that we can overflow to others rather than just pouring out until we're empty. It's about the skill of sustainable activism, and learning how to be held as we are holding others. I used to run one of the UK's fastest growing climate NGOs. Whenever I was experiencing climate sorrow, anxiety or despair, I would throw myself into that work until eventually it stopped working as an antidote to my climate sorrow. And I really struggled whenever it came to this choice between my self-care and planet care. I always chose planet care because I was like, this is an emergency that we're in. And eventually I actually had such a profound burnout that I ended up in hospital. I had to step down from that role, and I thought about leaving activism altogether. But I was lucky enough to have a number of amazing mentors and coaches and fellow journeyers along the way that helped me to begin orienting towards healing and restoring my joy. And so that's really when I began this deep journey through my climate sorrow and the depths of my despair. Instead of using activism to run away from it, I turned towards it. And in doing that, that's when I started to realize, wow, there's deep joy here amid the deep sorrow. So it makes for really, really rich living, and I decided to retrain in the wellbeing space and to begin cultivating spaces for other activists to also take this journey. And so in May 2021, I began piloting the Rest of Activism with some of the UK's most influential climate NGOs. And after some time, I thought, this has got to be open and available to everyone. So I got a grant to be able to offer the Rest of Activism at 10% of its original value to grassroots activists and anyone who's feeling climate concerned and feeling the weight of the climate crisis. So we meet weekly to cultivate a sense of deep purpose and full presence in what is unfolding. And restore that joy amidst all this sorrow that's there in the world right now. There's a whole lot more to the Rest of Activism as well. There's online resources, over 10 hours of video content. There's an Introduction to Resilience 6-week course. There's recommended reading. There's a buddy scheme. There's practice prompts that come to you in email. There's a whole lot more to it, but it all centers around these weekly live calls that we have together that are at noon on Thursdays UK time. If you can't make those call times, not to worry. We have people from all around the world in different time zones as part of the membership, and we create spaces to connect people up so that they can actually still have that community aspect and regular meeting with other people alongside all the recorded sessions and everything like that. So that's not to worry about that. What else is there to say? If you are thinking, oh, I don't know if I would think of myself as an activist, this is definitely a space that's still open to you. It's really for anyone who's feeling that weight of climate sorrow, to help lighten the load a little bit through that sharing with others. Equally, if you are a professional activist or environmentalist and you're thinking, well, you know, is this right for me? Absolutely. If you're not getting this kind of support through your employer, then this is definitely for you. And if you think that your employer would be interested in providing the support, then you can get in touch with me with the get in touch button below, and we can have a chat about that. Anything else to say about the rest of activism? I think, yeah, the final thing that I'll say really is that it can be so hard to take this time out for ourselves. It's the mark of being in survival mode. You know, our own flourishing and our own resourcing comes to the bottom of the pile, and we can end up being in survival mode indefinitely because of the climate crisis. So wherever possible, wherever we can take that time out for ourselves, it's so important that we do and make that investment in ourselves. This is a long haul journey. This is not a sprint. So definitely take a look at the information below. Get in touch with me if you've got any more questions. Give it a go if it sounds like this is something that could support you with your climate sorrow, and hope to see you on Thursday. Bye.